Okay, I'd like to call to order the Budget Finance Committee workshop for the town of Raymond. On the agenda for tonight, we're going to discuss the Department Head 1 presentation on February 28th, the Department 2 presentation, which was on February 29th, review and discussion of the CIP. What is the interest of the committee? Do you have a place where you would like to start? Would you like to start going through the budget section by section again as we did on Monday, or would you like to review the responses that we got to our questions that we received this afternoon?
I'd like to review those answers.
The responses to the questions?
Me as well.
Okay. Okay. The first question that the committee had posed was under Administration, Legal, and Audit. On the budget sheet for July 1st, 2023 to June 30, 2024, the Legal and Audit line had a total of total as 223 actual, 151, 856. And that sheet is right here. The response that we got back was that with the new budget for this year, the actual had been broken out. So that we could see the difference between the actual, and to clarify it, actually.
I think it would be good seeing it, because I know that will be something that happens next year, so I think we'll be able to see more of the months, which I think would be really helpful.
Yes.
Which, yeah.
Yeah, it really clarifies with the 24-25 budget where we were at the end of the year, year ending. Okay.
And I think we'll be able to find out if they had a discussion with their lawyer too. I think at some point we'll be able to find out what if anything's gonna happen with recourse on those funds.
Right, I expect this decision to be announced soon.
I think so, right? I would think that maybe something would be announced soon regarding that.
Okay. Does anyone have any specific questions over the clarification for the legal and audit?
I think what's good too is that without that violation, it falls right into line. So it looks like it would be consistent with other years, which is good.
Yes, I agree.
And the personnel and policy, is it lawyers, the question I would have, is it the lawyer telling them how to read a policy, or is this personnel issues, or is it both? You know, personnel and policy. It's not a lot of money, but it's actual, so. Do we ask where it came out of too? It's just the administrative account, right? Yeah, legal and audit. I'm assuming that what they did is, what Sue did was put the the total at 297 that we saw, and the 9 was the audit, and then Sebago was the largest thing, and then all the other ones were all totaled up to be the 38,000. That's how you guys, that's how it reads.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, then that would mean it's right in budget, in line with a budget of 40,000
Exactly.
outside of the 9.
I'm satisfied with that.
Okay.
Yeah, when is this to January? What is the actual timetable of this? Does it say? I can't. The budget sheet.
12/31.
Yes, as of 12/31.
So it's 2 more months, or a month and a half, January, February.
Mhm.
So there's 2 more months in here that we don't have.
Mhm.
That's substantial.
Could be, yeah.
And it's, I'm not sure why it isn't included.
Well, I know in our book it goes also to expenditures as of 1/31/24 as well.
Well, our next meeting is Monday, right?
Yes.
So we should have it updated for the Monday, by Monday's meeting for the last 2 months. I mean, the better we have on what this town has spent from June, July 1st to, we're in March, is what the selectmen asked for. They asked to be updated every month. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's how I read the memo. And so it would be interesting to see the last 2 months added onto this.
Didn't we already receive that?
Well, if it's already been done, it could have been added then.
Sharice provided what had been expended before we started the budget deliberations, I thought. It was up to date, it was current.
It was, oh,
Where is,
January, was it January?
right here.
That's still the 297/208.
Oh. 708, 297, 708. I can't find it.
I would think that year-to-date net for the 10 months is the exact same number as what we have for the 2023 actual, so.
Is it more or less?
Well, you've got the same number that's listed right there is what's listed on the 2023 actual.
Okay.
And then it shows the unexpended balance. We're still that over. So, but I don't know if that's what it's showing for 2023, is the 297, that exact same number as for 10 months. Which I wouldn't think it would be the exact same.
Well, that was, I thought it was
It
208,
doesn't say on
and this
this.
is
What the-
708. What it showed in there was 208.
And then 297,
Yeah.
208. And then on here it says 297, 209, 297, 708. Was the same thing as that one.
Well, on the bottom of the page, it says actual 12/31/23. underneath two, number 2 on the bottom. You know, just looking at the salaries.
Right.
So, but that's the 22, 23, right? Was it the 23, 24? Right?
Well, that's, right.
That's last
That's-
year.
Okay, well, what do we have?
I mean, I'm assuming that would be
This
last
year.
year, right?
That's
So that's fiscal year 2022 through 2023 budget. And we're looking at 2023 to 2024.
Well, we're looking for 24 to 25.
And then that would be the next
But this one
24 to
says
25.
different, a different amount. So
I'm just
that's-
wondering what
that's what's
FY
motivating me.
2023 to 2024 budget and where those expenditures are. And then we can look forward into the 24, 25. Which is why that number, total legal and audit, is exactly the same as the 2023 actual. So we still don't have the 23, 24. Am I reading that correctly?
The 23, 24 actual,
Or the 24 budgeted, right? So do we?
well, we have the 24 budgeted, which is 40.
Well, there could certainly be more details to explain to us
Right.
regardless.
Because I was looking at
Okay.
like the 2023 actual is 297, that number, right? Which is exactly all of this. I just didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, we're missing the piece.
We're missing a piece of it, right?
Right. From
'Cause we're now-
July of 23 to January of 24.
Right.
We're missing that actual what
Actual.
was spent.
Yes. So now we can see what was going on for that period of time prior, but I'm interested to see what's going on more recent.
So what should we specifically ask for?
For the expenditures from July of 23 to January of 24.
23 to July 24.
January of 20.
I'm sorry,
Oh.
January 24.
That would be the year ending.
Expenditures.
Or we could ask for July of 23 to March of 24, which actually has been spent, the actual.
We should probably do March just because, I mean, we have it.
The more information we have, you know, with transparency and everything, the better it's going to be. It's become a big issue.
And like I said, I know we're going to be aware that it's going to be a higher amount than we're used to, because I know what's been going on these past few months, but it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, just, one of the questions I think we had asked last time was, knowing what we're going through now, so the 2025, they're asking for 70,000, which is a $30,000 increase, but I mean, we've overshot that quite a bit already. Shouldn't we be investing some money into this, especially with this, the violation? Shouldn't we be setting money aside to continue to fight this battle, or?
My understanding is that there's a decision coming forward.
Decision
So,
soon, so
will
we
be
might
soon,
just
so there wouldn't be a need to
set
extend
aside
that.
more money.
Right.
So that decision is gonna be kind of final, that if we win that case, my understanding is we will receive that money back that we has put into it.
I don't know the terms of it.
Okay. Well, I sure hope so.
Yeah, all of it. And some.
I hope it's not a wash.
I know. Okay, so that's the first one.
Yep.
Okay, anything else on this table that we are interested to know, or are we all set?
Nothing for me personally.
Okay,
On the lawyers? On that page?
Yeah, just on this page, right?
just on the responses. Do you have any other questions on there?
Anything else I should write down for
Well,
questions?
I don't know if it's clear on the administration on salaries on the bottom.
Yes.
You want
Well,
2024 up to March to see what the salaries are?
right.
Okay.
I mean, the whole idea is if some of the stuff we already had anyway is to see where we are, to have, again, clear understanding.
Well, you have an answer on the next page.
For up to 12/31, you mean?
Is it the overage?
Yes.
The overage is largely due to the severance agreement of the previous town manager pursuant to his contract, which was paid in January but hit the town bank account in December. There were other minor staff salary adjustments done in September that increased the line for the first half by just under $12,000. That's the answer you're referring to?
Yes.
So that was 12/31/23.
Yes.
And so what I'm interested in is the last 2 months to see where we are. I mean, the whole idea of asking for this stuff is to come into a meeting. We're into March. And again, that makes it 8 months as opposed to 6. There's overtime in the wintertime for plowing and everything they're doing. There's if the check was written in December, that's interesting in itself. But either way, we're missing the whole data that we're going to need to look at where we should be for the next meeting. Not to mention, there's a ton of stuff we asked for in February that we haven't gotten. We'll just redo at the end of this meeting.
Okay, ready to move on to number 3, the debt service.
So the question was, since many of us are new, is it possible to list the items that were included in each of the bonds so we know the history of the expenditures? 2013 bond, road improvements. 2015 bond, sand salt, building and fire truck. Lease purchase, rescue pumper. 2023 bond, design, public works garage, the park, courts, tassel top, snack shops, and the potties. And after ARPA funds have been expended.
All right. Is everyone satisfied with that response? You good? All right. The next question was on liability insurance. Why did the liability insurance increase 26.775%? And the communication package was a 12% increase, $92,150. Sean, do you want to
Yep.
go over the response?
As you see on the proposed budget page on the insurance tab of your binder, the liability vehicle insurance line is expected to be over budget this year by $12,790 or 16.5%, and the projections we have received for the coming year is anywhere from 6 to 12% increase this year. $2,185 is the cost of the surety bond for Sharice, Kathy, Sue, Carr, and Nathan. $6,811 is the projected cost for Marine One for liability, a 6% increase. $3,229 is the projected cost for cybersecurity insurance, a 10% increase. $92,150 is projected cost for the commercial package, which consists of a blanket limit on buildings and contents, business auto, inland marine, general liability, employee benefits, liability to include EMT, paramedic liability, employment practices, liability, public officials liability, and umbrella, a 12% increase.
Any comments?
We were just kind of, okay, so
I think one of the things I had was seeing if there was anything where they had any building or contents, if there had been any claims. Just wondering if that's maybe why the increase was, or if it's just because it's just the way things are trending. But that was one of the questions I was interested to find out.
Yeah, we were asking last time if maybe there was a insurance claim on a vehicle, but I'm kind of looking over this and I don't really see, I don't see vehicle as being an issue. It's everything but vehicle, it just seems like, if I'm reading this correctly. I mean, just the boat alone is a significant increase for what reason? Just because it's, I mean, yeah, I'm curious, is it just because everything is going up, like?
Right.
But that's a small amount. It's $6,800 is the projected cost, which is a 6% rate, so that probably went up $360 or something.
Yeah, well, just using that, like, just using the boat, which is, I
Right.
think, this one of the smaller things on there. It's not the smallest, but one of the smaller things, still had a 6% increase. So it just looks to me like everything, it's
Right.
one of those things where it's just everything for, I don't want to say no reason, but for no reason is,
Right, and it was listed as vehicle and liability.
so that was really
And it
the
was-
vehicle was
it
coming
was-
from that, yeah.
So I guess there was no increase in the vehicles because, we had perfect driving record and everything, but it's kind of hard to believe that it wasn't in here somewhere, an increase. Or maybe it just got missed in the typing. Yeah, I guess I'd ask that question. Is
Well,
it
I
no-
think it's pretty clear.
You think
I do.
where the vehicle is?
Well, actually, let me reread that. So
It's-
92,150 is the projected cost commercial package, which consists of a blanket limit on building and contents, business auto, and inland marine. So is that they're throwing the auto into the commercial?
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So, okay, so yeah, that's
And that's the biggest
that's where it's
increase.
at, yeah.
Yes, it's
12%.
under the umbrella.
I'm sure there's
So
nothing,
that's almost $10,000.
I'm sure there's nothing that could be done about that. That's seems to be out of our hands with the commercial package.
Yep.
The only thing you ever do is what you say is shop around, but I'm sure at this point, it's probably,
The biggest
Just-
thing is health insurance.
Yeah.
do you want to move on to health insurance?
Okay, health insurance?
Increase of $116,000 or 23.43%. Budget Finance Committee requests the town to send out a request for quote to 3 suppliers to submit proposals for health insurance coverage. This is good business practice. And the response was, we have an annual contract based on calendar years, so we estimate how much the increase would be from January through June 30th through the next year, and we will try to estimate on the high side. We have to fully fund the liability of the HRA each year and carry forward whatever is not used. So the budget is only to bring the carry forward up to the full liability. At renewal time, our agents gets the quotes from all carriers, not only 3. Picks the best prices for the town and works with the staff. We also have a slightly higher head count in 2024, and all employees are aged by 1 year, which automatically increases the price. Freaked out there.
I know. That's
All the rates are approved by the State Bureau of Insurance.
And I'm sure that we see the huge jump in the retirement too because of the new retirement system that we have for some of the employees as
Correct.
well. Yep, right.
This is
Virginia
just
will be a
health
huge
insurance.
jump. And it was good to see that they get numerous quotes from all carriers.
Yes.
So that,
At renewal time, our agent gets the quotes from all carriers, not only 3.
Right, more than 3.
So we were asking, to request for a quote of 3 suppliers, and they said they do more than 3.
That sounds good.
Yes, that's good.
I don't have any issues with that.
sad that we've all aged by 1 year and it's
I
more
haven't.
expensive.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, all good?
Yep.
Alright.
Good.
Now do number 6, which is the department funds carried over and rolled forward to the next year. Will the finance director please provide a table that lists each department that is carrying funds forward, a column with the amount and a column with the accrued amount in the rolled forward account? A description about the intent of accruing the reserve funds, i.e. renovations, new truck paving, etc. The response was the only funds that are carried forward are the CIP and the HRA.
Which do we just, I guess, on the explanation on the next page, those are the only funds that are forward?
Are you on CIP?
I'm on the CIPs and the proposed budget, yeah, for the account, and it breaks it down, like saying for equipment, a fund balance of 80,000. So would that be the only place that we would expect to see it? I'll see that
On CIP.
on the CIP. I guess that would be my question, is that all that we have for funds right there?
Well, this was listed, so it's everything that's come forward.
Okay.
Well, does the enterprise accounts, I think they keep their unpaid, if they have revenues, I guess it's just revenues.
I mean, that's how I.
That's good to me.
What is the HRA?
School.
Or is it the health retirement? No. Health.
Oh.
Something account, right? It's like the FSA, HR.
The health retirement account?
Not retirement, but
It-
reimbursement.
Reimbursement.
Oh,
right.
reimbursement.
Like,
Where would we find that?
yeah, or if it was I know for like me, for the FSA,
Oh.
you use it, lose it. If I have an HSA, I can actually roll it over. So I guess if it's more of a,
It rolls over to the town, it doesn't roll over to the individual.
right, which is great.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, okay. So the difference between like an individual versus a town one, which is great. Okay.
And is it listed here somewhere? Did I miss something in here that's, which you probably did, but under the health?
Yeah, I don't know if I see
I mean, it was great to have the CIP listed this year for the reserve being going forward, so you could see what was used and what wasn't. I just don't know where that health is rolled over.
that. Yeah, I don't see that either.
That's
It's not in.
under.
Well, that's an answer to what's rolled over. It doesn't really say, you know, it doesn't give us the table for the health, but it's probably not a whole lot anyway. Who knows?
We can always ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it real quick, just so we can put that one to rest if we have to.
We usually use 45 to 60%.
A guesstimate?
That's the carryover.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Is it in an investment account? Is that how it rolls over, or no, it just goes into the, okay,
It goes into the next year's HRA.
okay, perfect.
Okay. Any more questions on the rolling forward of the CIP?
No, that's pretty straightforward.
Okay. All right.
I haven't been to this one.
All right, yeah, this is,
This is lovely.
one. Would you like to read it?
Oh my God, I'd love to. So number 7, request that the town manager inquire to RSU 14 what have been the maintenance costs for the JSMS for the last 3 years. So the Jordan Smith School. Bill Hanson, the head of facilities for RSU 14, will get a report of the cost for JSMS to us next week or so. They are also in mid-budget season. For now, he listed the major items that have been done to the school in the past 3 years. He said, I'm very good to see this. 2 new propane boilers, new insulation in the roof, with most of the roof being replaced. All electric panels have been updated. New air conditioning in the office and the IT room. All new exterior and interior doors. All new fire alarm system, all new cameras, and all new LED lighting. I think that is amazing.
It's pretty significant.
I think that's awesome. Yep. That was lovely.
Yes, the school should be in good shape for renovations when
gosh,
the
yes.
time comes.
Yep.
That's,
Much, I think, safe and more energy efficient. I think that's amazing.
yeah, it's really great news.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Good. Any questions?
No.
All right.
Okay.
CIP, items that need to be included in the CIP sheet that the town needs to plan for. Pickleball courts, part of the 2023 bond.
Yep.
JSMS renovation, town office, community center, library. And then the responses, the only mentions thus far, and there have been only in passing when looking forward to the return of JSMS to the Raymond after the middle school opens, is that we may go out to bond for any needed renovations. Recreation office renovation, already in CIP facilities. Tassel Top, build additional cabins. The answer of that was, the funding for this is through the Tassel Top Enterprise Fund and not part of the town budget. Was that one of your questions that you were asking?
No, I didn't even know they were talking about that.
Okay. New RSU 14 middle school. Preliminary information we have from the presentation by the superintendent, Christopher Howe, to the select board on October 10th, 2023, is the state approved a subsidy of, is that 131
Yes.
million? 131,712,845 for the project, and the local portion would be 39,838,444 in total, a portion of which will be Raymond's share.
Do we know what that portion is?
We do.
It's in here.
I went to the website for RSU 14 new school and got the documentation of what the Wyndham percentage is and what the Raymond percentage is. And I thought I put it somewhere where I could find it easily.
And it may adjust with the reevaluation. Okay.
Well,
Of course, now I can't find it.
Percentage wouldn't,
Yeah.
correct.
I don't know where I put it. It's in here. I'll probably find it as soon as we're done.
And
That's
there
where I
it
put
is.
it.
But we can look it up. Okay, so that's, okay.
I do have it. I don't know what I did with it. Nope, that's not it. Put it in here so I could find it. I can't find it.
Pressure, that's why.
All right.
Would you like to come back to it?
But the information is available of what the division will be of the percentages.
Okay.
And where did you find that? The RSU site?
On the RSU 14 new middle school website.
Perfect. Okay, awesome.
We don't have it.
Yeah.
It's on the website. Okay, fiber optics proposal, 900,000. Funding split with 150,000 on hand, TIF bond. Response was, this project has not been approved to move forward. Some may be paid by the TIF, and we may add this to a bond effort.
So this is just premature right now.
Yep.
And it sounds like so is middle school.
Public Works vehicles, already in, responses already in CIP, equipment. For 2025, the plan is to replace the 2011 excavator and order replacement for the 2009 dump truck, as long as nothing major breaks and as funding allows.
There you go.
Okay.
I think it's wonderful. Like I said, we've got the great mechanic too that does such a good job of taking care of the machines as well, which is.
So is this implying this will be added to the CIP and as details for this budget? For 2025, or are they talking about the next budget? Because this is 24, 25 going forward, right?
Interesting. 25 plan, I imagine that's moving forward, right? Let me look at, well, let's look at the, let's look at the
Inventory
CIP. So a lot of that stuff just said as, replace as needed, but we should know if that inventory list says, this year or not.
So $2.15 per thousand is what we'll, they're gonna pay $3.76 per thousand. Okay. All right.
I feel like somewhere with the percentages was a tax.
Well, I don't think the 11 was even on the list. Remember that got left out? One
Right.
got left out or something.
Yes, I hand wrote it on the
So
book.
maybe it got left out because they already raised it off. It's going to replace this next budget. Well, the 09 dump truck is when necessary. So that was an accurate list they just gave us, so that must have been moved up.
Okay, so here's
All right.
here's the inventory list here. Excavator. 2011. Is this excavator they're talking about? It's the only one on there that's just a dump?
No. There was one that was left off the list. This was put together for us.
Right, I hand wrote it on my list right here, Caterpillar excavator.
Okay. You added that, you said?
Right, when we had our meeting a couple of weeks ago.
Okay. All right, is that good? Should I move on, or any questions on that?
Okay, all right, let's move on.
Okay. Fire department vehicle is already in CIP, fire CIP.
I've got some notes. He said something about a truck that was failing. But it's not in there. And he isn't submitting anything, so.
The next vehicle's gonna be an ambulance.
Excuse me?
It's gonna be an ambulance.
Yeah, oh, yes. That's a 75. But I think he said something about one was in the shop and it's really hurting and,
So I get towed to the shop. Yeah.
yeah.
Are they getting a combination truck?
A heavy
Yeah.
rescue?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's what he was talking about.
Talking about
Combining
that.
because of manpower and because the other truck's in the shop. I know that there was one of the trucks taking a lot of maintenance.
And
he
making
mentioned-
sure it has a big enough lift where you can actually go and not use ladders. If I remember correctly, they were talking about the fire that was
Yes.
in the, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, ignorant question here, are our fire trucks and our ambulances and all that stuff, is that maintained by the town? Or are we sending those out?
No, the smaller trucks are, but they notify, we always did notify Nathan if it's some small repair, and he tries to help us out when that happens,
Okay.
you know, getting the save. But a lot of it, the hydraulics and stuff is all emergency vehicle maintenance. You have to be certified. You know, from a liability point of view, you can't have someone, you know.
Right. How far away, do you know how far away we send those for maintenance, or do they? Does
Used to
someone
be
come
right up
in?
the road, but I don't know where it is now.
All right, any other questions on that, comments?
I'm good.
Okay, moving on to automated trash truck, trash bins. The answer we received is there is no definite plan to require these by vendor. They have thus far said that Raymond does not have the density to do this, and they do not have enough of the specialized trucks as yet in their fleet. Also, there's no plan for the town to buy them and give them to citizens. Okay, so that was specifically, we were talking about the trash cans. So the last part, there's no plan for the town to buy them and give them to citizens. I think they're talking about the cans themselves. So, I mean, there's really nothing going on, no definite plan to require them by the vendor.
Yeah, I guess probably once the vendor starts getting, like, saying, hey, it might be more viable to them, then I guess that will be something we need to really consider at that point, but who knows when that will.
So unless their density changes soon, or they change their mind.
Well, the whole idea, a lot of these questions were raised, or looking for information, was to have a 5-year plan out, not next year's,
Right.
not the second year, but 5. And I think what we heard is it was probably 4 or 5 years out before they'd even consider it.
Right.
So if it's something they're going to consider in 4 or 5 years, it'd be nice to have the information to at least plug in if in fact the town has to buy them, which is what we heard at the meeting. And so if we look at all these things as a 5-year concept of what's out there, we'll have to ask both Nathan and the fire chief what they might have on that list. We know the ambulance is prepaid for, and there's a lease that, according to what the chief explained, was it's being paid for as it goes, it's already been ordered. So we're making payments towards that. And I guess there's a delay in getting it. But again, 5 years out is around the corner.
Right, absolutely. So I guess it would be interesting to find out from the vendor, if we're talking about the automated trash things, what their idea is, what would be what would be dense enough.
Right, what is the
What's that
density?
threshold?
And, you know, do you think it's, I understand Raymond can be a little spread out. Do you think it's that, or do you think it's all the camp roads and stuff that they're really kind of not wanting to go down in?
That's a good point.
Well, they may never be able to do it, I don't know. I think what we're looking at is if what he said is it's probably 4 or 5 years down the road.
Right.
And it's going to be a limited part of the town. It doesn't even go into CIP, or do we worry about it in 4 years or 3 years and stick it in then? It's just that if we're looking 5 years down the road, where we should be, the school is in there. You know, certainly a fire truck that's in the shop most of the time is in there. The ambulance are already always in there. I think it's 8 to 10 years now, if I remember right. They're taking a lot of mileage, a lot of use. So.
I know, it was good to see, I didn't print it, but the report that was requested about how much they use per month, how many calls they respond to. It was really
Yes.
good to see some of the trends, and you can always tell, oh, the holidays are here, okay. And then, oh, here comes the summer, you know. So it was pretty interesting to see the consistencies amongst that, so that was good.
And road conditions.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
we've had a lot less slippery, icy roads. So it's good. More information is better.
I
As far
agree,
as I'm
yeah,
concerned.
especially if we're, like you said, we're just curious about the future of Raymond. And I think we'll probably see some tremendous growth over the next 5 years, more than we've seen, you know, especially like with, and if that growth does come where we do have more density, it's going to be something we'll be discussing again within the next couple of years.
Like you said, what, Maine is one of the top states that people are now moving to?
I don't know, I sometimes hear it's the other way around.
No, it
No, it is.
was. It was, but now it's, after 2020, it's now one of the top places people move to.
It's been increasing by 12 or 13%.
I know, because they enjoy the sound of the birds and the snow, but I don't know what's going on now, but.
Snowbirds.
Yeah, the snowbirds, exactly. Yep, the warmer weather's coming up here.
One of the reasons we asked for this meeting after the meeting that was canceled or postponed was because we thought we'd have more information and updates of all this stuff. And so without the update to the March or even end of February with all the expenditures and stuff, and with more input from the department heads, I mean, all we really had coming in tonight was the CIP, what information we had for that. Unless I'm missing something, unless someone's done more reading and got more questions. I know, Bob, you missed a meeting, so we went through them department by department with trying to find any kind of savings or something that wasn't used for funds by just looking at it. And so by getting an update for 2 months, you can see more of what was used, what
Right.
wasn't used.
Where you gotta go over.
Right, right. I mean,
Because that could be a whole nother meeting going over March,
Right.
up to March, you know, last few months that aren't in here.
but just having that meeting postponed is that much less that we have for information for this meeting. And now that we have to go through Sue for basically the data. So we'll have the meeting and then meeting after the meeting to ask for stuff that we might have come up with. But I think the department heads will be there to answer a lot of the questions, so we should be able to get 99% of what we want right at that meeting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree, and I think that what's good is that we did get some of the stuff, just some of it, like just knowing what they've done to the school, you know, so we've gotten some of that information, so we can
Yes.
cross that part off. And now we can pinpoint and streamline our questions more, which I think is great.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
this-
this was a good start.
A good start.
So,
Is it fair to ask for up to March 24 for all these things? So, I mean, if our meeting is Monday, I
That's a lot.
don't think that we're going to get it. But do you think that we can
I think
at
we
least
can.
ask for it, so when it does come, that way it doesn't, yeah, okay.
I'll put it right
I
on.
guarantee you.
Because we have a,
Early
At
to
least
get
till
us the
end of
information.
February, I would think, February, because
Our
it would have been
systems,
March.
we close out at the end of the month.
Right, so that's what I think.
Yeah, so it'd be-
We'll
it would-
certainly get
February.
It's
All
really
right.
hard to get months.
okay, I'm going to
Okay.
change my
It's
notes here to
computerized.
Yeah, I think February would be good.
February. Because we only had it for a couple of departments, but I think we really kind of look at everything. More reading for us, but more information.
Okay. All right.
Bob, did you have a chance to watch? I know you were kind of incapacity, but did you have a chance to watch our last
No, I didn't.
meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't feel like watching anything either. Called a lack of sleep.
Okay, are there any other questions or comments?
I don't have any.
Okay. Are we ready to wrap up? Shall I ask for the public comment?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Shoot.
Is there any public comment? Eric, do you have any public comment?
Nothing on Zoom.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Budget Finance Committee comment? Anyone on the committee have any comments they'd like to make?
Our next meeting is Monday. Is that correct?
Yes, Monday the 18th. Our next meeting is Monday the 18th at 6:30.
And with the select board and department heads.
Correct.
Yes.
Workshop.
Right. All right. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Okay, seconded. All right, all in favor? All right, thank you all very much.